about some of the physical symptoms that people can experience when they're grieving for their pet, and how sometimes we don't realise that the symptoms are caused by grief, and we start to treat the symptoms rather than deal with the underlying issue of how we feel. So for instance, lots of people start to have tension headaches, really chronic headaches, and they take over-the-counter medication, or they're trying to force themselves to relax, and the harder you try and relax, the more difficult it is, because the more you try not to think about how upset you are about the death of your pet, the more you end up thinking about it. So it's like saying, do not think of a giant blue banana. What's the first thing you think of? The giant blue banana. And that's the same with anything that you're trying not to think about. So it can cause tension in our body, so it can make us feel tight and uncomfortable and achy, and just have general aches and pains through the tension. Other things that we can get are difficulty sleeping. So we end up taking sleeping tablets, or thinking we need a glass of wine because, I can only go to sleep if I have a glass of wine. The glass of wine helps me to relax, or whiskey, or whatever it is. And you end up relying on this drink every single night instead of dealing with the pain from the grief. You can feel a hollowness inside, or an emptiness, and sometimes people try and fill that with food, or they just don't understand why they feel that way. And again, they end up either going to the doctors or trying to self-medicate to get rid of the feeling. Panic attacks and anxiety attacks are very, very common when you're grieving. And if you go to your doctors for something, quite often they'll give you an antidepressant. And that leads to people believing that they're depressed because they've been given an antidepressant, when really the medication is just trying to calm you down. And again, if you deal with the underlying problem and deal with the grief, you're much less likely to need that. Medication, if it's prescribed by a medical practitioner, so a GP in the UK, or a doctor, it can help in the short term, but it's not something you want to rely on. Dealing with your grief is so much better than that. So much better than every night thinking, I need a sleeping tablet, I need to have a drink, I need to, I'm feeling so empty, I need to eat something. Or just picking and snacking, just to try and get your attention away from feeling, the emptiness inside you that's caused by the death of your pet. You can get all sorts of mixed emotions. I'm sure a lot of you know you can get anger, and you don't even know what you're angry at, because maybe you didn't have enough time with your dog, or because you feel somebody's to blame, or that yourself is to blame, or it just isn't fair. You feel that, just an overriding feeling of despair. Nothing seems to matter anymore. There's just this great big gaping hole. And it's very difficult to go through life like that and get on with your everyday life. And ways of coping are, counselling's very good. It can take a lot of sessions, or some kind of therapy that perhaps it takes less sessions, which is what I do. But any kind of help, even writing a journal. Some of my clients, I was saying in one of the earlier posts, they write letters to their pets, the husband and the wife, and then they're putting them in a book, and they're making a book out of them. And I think it's just for themselves, but it's something that can help. So it's kind of getting the feelings out, and that can really help as well. If you're feeling any kind of absolute despair, absolutely feeling like you can't go on, get hold of the Samaritans, go and see a doctor. Don't struggle on your own. Go and get some help. You might think nobody understands, but there are people that do understand. There are some great self-help groups, if you like, on Facebook, Rainbow Bridge, those kind of things. Get some help, get your feelings out there. Don't hold them in. Don't struggle and get all these physical anxious feelings, the headaches, the emptiness, the heart beating, anxiety attacks, panic attacks. Find a way that is best for you to deal with them. whether it is joining an online group, journaling your feelings, going to see a doctor, at least in the short term, or getting some therapy to help. So those are just a few of the things that people experience, a few of the feelings, and they don't always connect them with the grief. And they might realise, oh, I haven't been able to sleep for months, but they don't realise that it all started with the death of their pet, or the headaches, or the tight feeling in the throat. You can hardly speak sometimes when you've got this tight feeling. And it can be caused by grief, by grieving for your pet and not allowing yourself to do the grieving properly. Everybody grieves in different ways. Everyone takes a different amount of time. There is no right or wrong way to do it. There is no normal way to do it. It is whatever is right for you. But get some help, and if you're getting those physical feelings, recognise them for what they are, part of your grief. Okay, any messages that you want to send me, you can private message me if you want to. If you've got any of these physical things, you don't know what they are, and maybe we can have a chat, or what has helped you to get those feelings out. You can maybe leave some advice for other people, other comments that might help them, if it's helped you. Okay, and I'll see you soon. Bye.